Hello everyone, and welcome back to episode 2 of Albion. A fan stated that this episode needed to have a sheep in it. So, voila fan, that is a sheep. I'm now standing in the second largest fortress in Albion, which obviously is not constructed yet. But I figured I'd actually narrate this video, and I will show you Castle Godelic, which I probably just butchered entirely. So, welcome to City Godelic, which is obviously a very temporary wall here made out of cobblestone. But you can see that we're platting out the city, and we're getting the roads in, figuring out where everything's going to go. I'm trying to stay away from my usual solution of grid everything. And the city has expanded a little bit from how it was in the previous video. It actually now has a second side, and it has a harbor. And you can see that this would be the harbor type area, and I'm probably going to build an enormous suspension bridge here. I'm not entirely sure what the design will be, but that's what I'm going to design. And this is going to be the embassy quarters. So this is going to be the actual external wall of City Godelic. Gatehouse structure finally over here. Whee! Gatehouse. And I have a bunch of friends who are now coming onto the server to help me build out the other civilizations, and we are delineating our territory using this series of towers. And I'll be sure to show you a picture of the map of Albion so that you can tell just how many of these towers there are. Obviously, many. The towers, this is the biggest change since the previous video. The towers now all have tops, and they are all at their maximum height. This tower is now a library tower, and since I'm a nerd, I'm sure some of you are also nerds and you enjoy books, time for a tour of the library. So, obviously this is a kind of a lounge area, kind of a fiction zone, if you will. This is a little more studious. Tables, hard benches. Yeah, I wouldn't want to sit on that bench, honestly. That could be a little warm. Anyway, and up the stairs we go. This is an enchanting table, obviously maximum power enchanting table, with a chandelier because you can't put anything on the bookcases for it to have an effect. And up the stairs one more time. And at the top we have kind of a conference room, which I should probably put chairs around this table so you can actually sit at the conference table. But it is supposed to be a conference area for the ruler and others to meet casually outside the strictures of the main council chamber, which you saw in the previous video, but I didn't narrate it. So, having shown you the library, I'm now going to show you the doors that we installed. These are obviously elevator prototypes. You saw them last time, but yeah, that's what they actually are. This one is more effective than this one. This is CNB Minecraft's elevator, and I mean, his stuff is almost always perfect, so I used it, and it didn't work out this time. But I did use something else by him, and it is over here, and I don't like the fountain. Oh, right, and landscaping happened, and I got rid of my mushrooms. I don't like this fountain. It looks kind of Fisher-Price. I'm probably going to redo it. But I do like the garden that I put over here. It's not a bad garden. I kind of like this garden. Anyhow, so go in the front gate, pressure plates. Ta-da! 3x3 gate. Doing it. This is, as I said, CNB Minecraft's 3x3 auxiliary gate. Walk over the next set of pressure plates. Door shuts, door opens. Walk over the last set of pressure plates, door closes. Door opens. Door closes. Obviously, it's not the most secure thing ever, considering it's using pressure plates, which means that monsters can just walk on them and open the doors. So I'm going to be fixing that with a lock mechanism from the inside, where it's just basically sticky piston and block that powers or is not powered. Anyhow, the point of this particular segment of the structure is that it is a large, powerful, heavy stone structure, similar to the first major castles during the Middle Ages, where everything was square, everything was blocky. It wasn't very delicate, if you will. And eventually you progress to these structures that have large windows and buttresses and so on and so forth. Now, this portion obviously is built later in the life of the kingdom, with this tower being there to begin with and just building into this larger structure that's built on top of an original portion of the keep. Also, this wall here is from survival mode. So I built all this wall here back in the days when I actually had to make stone bricks and find a ton of coal in order to make them. This structure here was also built on survival mode, and you can see that because it's actually still not completed. Kind of has some holes here and there. And this is the other side of the structure, and you can see that it was added in later, and we have these large flying buttresses coming in to brace it. This tower is completely unrealistic. It's too tall and it's too skinny. I need to really chop it down like 5 blocks. The other thing about this server is we have a sun and moon theme going on. To be honest, I need to fix that circle because it's not very circular. But this is the throne room, and you can see it's also dedicated to the moon. And I'm tired of it raining, even though it's very appropriate. Obviously, this would be the Temple of the Sun, which is the opposite. This beacon is probably going to go away because I installed a beacon in the top of this tower here. It's inside, sitting on some diamond. And of course, the rest of the wall, which you can kind of see here, going all the way to this tower, and including that tower, was built on survival, including this section here. This section was not built on survival. That was actually added on in creative mode because I was tired of waiting. But, as you can see, we have this large blocky section that is the older portion of the castle, and it has this bit right here, which is kind of showing that this used to be a tower unto itself. However, it was then integrated into a circular tower as the technology progressed. This area is all barracks and defensive structures. You can't actually access this area from inside the castle without using a secret passage. And finally, Cloud Tower is actually completed now. So you walk in, and it's not just a straight shot all the way at the top. You actually have stairways. All the towers now have stairways. All the stairways now work and are illuminated. We have this nice little side tower here. Got to look out over the clouds. Say what up to the people in the conference room over there. And you can see one of the lighthouses, which is what I'm calling those for lack of a better term. And up we go. This room is probably going to be kind of interesting. It may be like an enchanting type room. Not entirely sure. Maybe that's the floor above this one. As you can see, I haven't really figured out exactly what I'm going to decorate everything as yet. But almost there. Here we are, top of Cloud Tower. This is supposed to be an observatory. I built the telescope before I built the giant gold circle, which someone then promptly compared to Sauron's evil eye. I'm like, you've ruined it for me forever. But, oh well, this is the telescope. It may or may not look like a fish that's about to bite you. I'm not sure. Sandworm, perhaps? Maybe? I don't know. But, that's all there is of Cloud Tower. So, this is the Royal Chambers. The Royal Chambers really haven't changed that much. Unfortunately, I kind of need to fix that also. You can see that they have an entrance to Cloud Tower from here. But that's about it for the Royal Chambers. That area over there is going to be closed off, but you can see that the tower stairs now exist. They're ugly and not exactly that elegant, but they work, so whatever. And you're probably noticing that this is not congruent with the outside of the building, and that you would be correct. There is a hidden passage back behind this wall. Moving over here for a moment. This is the Temple of the Sun, and if you saw last time, it was kind of blank and ugly. Now we have nice red tapestries that totally don't look like anything else at all. I don't know what else they could possibly look like. And we have pews, and we have a pulpit, lectern, whatever you want to call it. And of course, this goes off into the tower passage, which is integrated into the wall, like I showed you earlier. The monk's cloister floor is actually completed now. This is the High Septon's office. You totally don't see this button here, which totally doesn't go into that hidden passage there, with the circuitry exposed all over the place. And this is the monk's dining area. Refectory, I think is the correct term. Yeah, I apparently am not big on chairs, so the monks don't have chairs either. Sorry monks, no chairs for you. Obviously this is a kitchen. It's a pretty good kitchen. I kind of like this kitchen. And since monks in medieval Europe actually were major purveyors of beer, we have 2 brewing stands for them to use. Minecraft needs to add like a giant barrel item that I can place. Oh right, and finally, last but not least, dormitory! Beds, 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 and boxes. Beds and boxes, beds and boxes. Lots of beds, lots of boxes. And flowers in pots. Right, so. Yes, that was me impersonating CNP Minecraft. Like I said, if you haven't checked out his stuff, go do so right now. I will include the link to that 3x3 door in my description. You should go check it out. So, this is the actual guardhouse. This is the front of the big blocky bit out in front. Ooh, big blocky bit out in front. Yes, I consider this to be front, even though that would probably be front for most people. This big blocky bit is where guards would actually do spend most of their time, do most of their work. I don't have an armory yet. I'm probably going to be splitting this floor in half, and the armory will be on the floor below this one, and the floor above this one will just be lookout posts. But you can see that now that this has been refined into a palace, many of the arrow slits, quote unquote, are now glassed in. But not all of them. Just some of them. This is actually the way it works in many large fortresses from medieval times, such as the Tower of London and its surrounding fortifications. Anywho, if you keep going down, there's no way out, so we're going to leave now. And my friend was trying to cheer me up because I had a bad day, which I really appreciate. And you can see I redecorated the outside of this area. The flower garden has changed a little bit. I've added a railing so that you don't fall off and drown. And I've done a whole lot of tracery work on the outside of the castle. Yes, I know, those are cartouches. Cartouches are not medieval, they're Egyptian, but I have a thing for Egyptian stuff, so bite me. Anywho, I wonder where that is. Back into the entry hall. Ta-da, ta-da. This has been split off, and now you have two relatively small little guest room type areas here. The blue room and the red room. Red room is more prestigious because I went to NC State and I like NC State and they're red and white. So, this is the Grand Council Chamber. Rather more formal than the conference room that I showed you on top of the library tower. Still needs chairs. Apparently I really do have something against chairs. Even though I'm sitting in one. And this is the Great Hall. Hey look, I put chairs in. Crazy. Maybe someone else did this for me in my sleep, I'm not sure. But this would be the high table, where the king would sit. And this is of course the Legacy Great Hall. This is actually no longer used, or it's used for informal occasions. And this is the kitchens. I obviously have not actually installed the kitchen yet, unlike the Monk's Cloister, and this is another prototype of CNB's elevator. And this is a secret passage that goes over here. So now you're inside the barracks section of the castle. And as you can see, it integrates with the actual walls. There's a pig in my walls. Invaders! Invaders must die. But this is the Wizard's Tower, which is the tall circular tower on the far side of the walls. And now we'll fly back over to the castle itself. These stairs, narrow and crooked as they are, which is, again, accurate for the historical pieces that we're trying to replicate. This is just a simple storage room. I think this is just going to be a high security storage area, to be honest. But if you continue going up, or maybe if you go down, I'm not entirely sure anymore. If you continue going up, you get to this really crooked corridor, and it will take you out into the top floor of the guardhouse. And this one will take you into the tower, from which, you can't get where you want to go. If you go all the way down, you can get to another hidden passage, which will take you around the bottom of the castle. Go back out here again, giant staircase, up to the Monk's Cloister. Art gallery, I think we skipped a level, but this is the art gallery, as I showed you last time. And that is the nether gate, because I actually took a break from building and went around exploring. I will blast that back in, so that nothing pops out at me. Surprise! This is the ballroom. And you can see that it is blocked off also. I'm going to be building small chambers there as well. And I haven't really done anything with this space yet, but I probably should. It will probably be guest chambers. Again. This is the new dining hall. I probably need to actually replace that with the other one. But anyway, new high table, fewer chairs, more space, more opulence, needs chandeliers. Save that for next time. That needs a chandelier too. Anyway. And I So, up one more. Again, this is the Monk's Cloister, as I showed you earlier. And that is about it for the castle itself. Much more has happened in the world of Albion, and I will include the map at the end of the video so you can check it out. But hey, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time at Castle Godelic.